Congratulations, Berlanga. Oh my God, you got knocked out. Oh my God. Oh, something Canelo Alvarez couldn't do.
And that is the pure and initial reaction of, let me change this, there you go, Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya, of course, was ridiculed by Edgar Berlanga. Edgar went below the belt on so many levels, bringing up the old wig and dress thing with the fishnets back in the day, if you guys can remember that. And he threw it and he was chunking it at Oscar during the press conference. Before the press conference, he said, well, when I see Oscar, I'm going to slap him. Obviously, that didn't happen. So they had their back and forth. Now, that's Oscar De La Hoya's initial response. However, I want to say, I'm not sure, but I want to say that wig that Oscar was wearing was the wig that Edgar Berlanga threw at him during the final press conference. So that was classic irony right there. Great counterpunching. Snap back from Oscar De La Hoya. And let me add this too. I think that Oscar De La Hoya, instead of really roasting Edgar, which I think that's what he should have done, he used that time to take another dig at Canelo, and I do think that's like to a point where those guys gotta quit that shit. I mean, because if they're not gonna have a fantasy fight one day, honestly, what's the point? Now, if they do Oscar versus Canelo, I don't know how that would pan out. I mean, obviously you would favor Canelo because he's much, much, much younger, but nonetheless, though, I do think that, Oscar saying, oh, something Roy Nello couldn't do. I have to remind people of something very, very important. When Oscar De La Hoya tested positive for clenbuterol, who the hell was his promoter? Oscar De La Hoya. That's right. Oscar De La Hoya was his promoter. Oscar De La Hoya, was backing him 100%. And I think it's lame and I think it's actually counterproductive to then throw that roid or the drug use thing in Canelo's face when you didn't do it when he was with you. You know what I mean? That makes you, Oscar, look more of an hypocrite than anything else. I know everything went south. I know what he started saying about you. I do think he's what's the word? Unappreciative to what Oscar has done for him in his career. I do believe that, but I think at some point, somebody has to be mature enough to say, look, enough is enough. I'm not going to talk this about Canelo. If Canelo wants to talk this, fine. I'm not going to play these games, or entertain this any longer. I'm not going to do it. So someone has to be mature enough to stop the bull. Because again, if they're not fighting, if it's not going to be, hey, on site or something like that, I don't think that this is necessary because Canelo Alvarez and Oscar De La Hoya really don't have anything pretty much left to say about each other. Unless there is something to what Canelo's saying of Oscar stealing money, which I don't believe anyway, and he was willing to take Canelo to court to prove it. So that being said, I don't think that they should be going back and forth with that. This is a Berlanga thing. Berlanga got his ass whooped. And I think Oscar should have stayed within those boundaries. Not, oh, well, hey, that's something Canelo Alvarez couldn't do. I mean, come on, bro. He was your fighter at the time. If you supported him then, you should support him now because that was your fighter. And you, being a promoter of integrity and purity, should respect that. But you guys tell me, though, what you think of Oscar De La Hoya and him trolling Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez upon getting his ass whooped by Hamzah. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.